This is the natural question that comes up from everybody. Everybody believes that automatic speech recognition does good levels of captioning. Does it well? It doesn't. We've studied this. We run several ASR engines internally because we're always looking for the best way to get captions done. It doesn't do a good enough job, and I have proof of that because I test what's going on in the country all over the place every day. Most of the ASR engine issues happens because people use it because it's cheap. That's really the only reason that anybody cares about it, is that it doesn't cost hardly anything to do it. It's worth every penny you pay for it. It doesn't do a very good job of it. It gets most proper nouns wrong. It gets most proper names wrong. It gets most names wrong. As a matter of fact, when I look at it, and I've averaged this across, all of the big providers. I'm not going to name them. I don't care who they are. I look at what they do live on broadcast television, and the average right now is just under 68% accurate. 1 out of every 3 words is wrong. 2/3 of the words that are wrong, 2/3 of the errors are wrong words or missing words. Think about that. 1 out of every 3 words that you have going on is wrong or missing. It's not an adequate way to communicate. In addition to that, it captions poorly if there's not a very good connection, there's background noise, people talk over one another. The place where it actually does work is when people are trained to use it and they talk like this to the machine, and the machine captions, and they put in their period and captions and commas, and they do that through a monotone, and they talk to it, and there's only a single speaker. You can train ASR to do okay. I know we do that. That's what voice writers do. But at the same time, that's not adequate for most of your broadcast needs. And so that's why I say to you it's not very good. And in addition to that, it doesn't capitalize, it doesn't punctuate, it doesn't do, and people always say, oh, poo-poo, who cares about the punctuation? If I gave you a pamphlet, just a couple thousand words, and I didn't have paragraphs or punctuation or commas or anything else, how far do you think you'd read in that document? You'd be confused very, very quickly. People don't think about it that way. Take a paperback book and think about no punctuation, no chapters, no indexes, no commas, no indents for paragraphs or any of those things, just the stream of words. It'd be awful. Well, it is awful. You can watch it. It's just not very, very good. So I captured a little piece of it right here. This is a local station. This was back in July. Firefighters arrived, boats but 20 minutes ago that spoke at fire, showing it, and that's what they said was, the firefighters arrived on scene about 20 minutes ago, that smoke and fire showing, and that's what it was supposed to say. One of the other really important things about the automatic speech recognition is that, and because you say, well, I watch captioners and there's missing words when humans do it too. Yes, they do. They paraphrase sometimes. Captioners are trained. They are trained to sometimes, and as much as we don't like to think about not doing verbatim, because we all want to do verbatim all the time, verbatim is not always the best delivery on the screen. Our captioners are taught to paraphrase in order to slow it down enough so the words stay on the screen long enough for somebody to be able to read them. And sometimes they'll leave out some words for better meaning. ASR engines leave out words because they get befuddled. Humans leave out words because they're trying to improve the meaning. So when you actually compare what happens between human captioners and the automatic speech recognition, the huge difference is the readability of what's happening, and it's the human context of knowing how to communicate effectively with the words that are being spoken. So I know I spent a lot of time on this. We get a lot of questions about this. Everybody wants to know, when is it going to be ready? Well, so do we, which is why we test it every day. I've got currently 58 tests that I've just done on 80,000 words. And that's where I get my statistics from, of 67.88% accurate. It was 32.12, whatever that is, that were inaccurate. And that most of that, again, 2/3 of that is missing words and wrong words.